Yo, what's up, guys? Joker here for episode 49 of TGW. Sorry about the little delay there. We got held up for a second because my brother's a piece of a bad word. So I was gonna try to curb cursing. I don't want to start out the episode with a curse, but let's just say he's being a little punk because he plays Call of Duty on the Xbox 360 and he just got us DDoS for like the 8th time this week because he goes around telling these little other punks that he's a hacker when he's actually not a hacker, and he doesn't know dick about hacking. Oh, there we go. We just broke the cursing boundary DDoS for like the 8th time anyway, because he goes around telling
Yeah, right. Anyway, let's talk about something that makes you happy. So, tech.
Well, okay. Well, fine. All right, fine. We'll get off that train. I just had to vent that out, but I disconnected his Xbox. But if we get dropped during this show, just so you guys know, it's because of that fucking piece of shit playing Call of Duty on the Xbox 360 trying to get us DDoSed. We're not trying to get us DDoSed, but he probably will get us freaking DDoSed. And no one is doing anything to police the situation, even though the 360 is not secure. And I've told them this, but they don't listen. Anyway,
Okay.
So on to the happy news. You hit 100K. I've hit over 50K, over 55 now. And we got the Game of Ages going on.
Well, that's it. So, yeah, we got 2 PCs getting given away here.
I'll put a link below, actually. I forgot to put that.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, how good of a giveaway is this? Like, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, I've done giveaways in the past where it's like a headset or a keyboard or so. I forgot, but like, you know, a mouse. It just doesn't work. People want a gaming PC. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do something massive. And rather than doing more frequently, I'd rather do more big giveaways with bigger prizes. And so, yeah, I mean, I talked to you about it. You were like, yeah, I'll throw in an all AMD PC. And then spoke to Timmy. He's like, $500 Steam card. I'm like, all right, man, you're in too. So, so it's just huge. And I mean, the winners are going to be over the moon, I think, eh? So I got the PC right here. I've been tuning this thing, man. It runs so good, hey? Like, I'm like, you know, I sold that Skylake PC, and I'm just thinking my next replacement might be something similar, like X58, you know, like X58 and E5640. So, just crazy. Crazy how good it is.
Some people were saying that my volume is a little bit low. I've adjusted it now, so let me know how it is in the chat. It might be a touch low still. I usually have it on like a 3 times boost, but if this is too
yeah, we got to get the volume sorted out.
There we go. I put it up to what I usually have it at, but it's on a different mic. So we're trying a new mic this week. I've got the Antlion Mod Mic 4.0 here. This is an omnidirectional. It's really convenient. I've got it attached right to the side of my headset here. Look at this.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Magnets. I'll show them the viewers. They might not know. So
I'm sure they know about an Antlion mod mic. It's been
not everyone knows. Dude, how many people a week ask us like, what mic is Brian using? They don't know if it's an Antlion or whatever because they just see some people might be new here. We got a lot of new subs coming in. So they might, just see my headphones and like, oh my God, this guy's wearing a wooden headset. Like, no, those are wooden headphones. And then I've got an Antlion mod mic attached to it.
But it's not a wooden mic, so it's actually really good. So, we've got you guys can let us know which one sounds better too. I mean, do you think the V-Motor sounds better or do you think Joker's microphone sounds better? Because I've actually tested the V-Motor against a Shure, like an actual Shure. I got it right here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like here it is. This one here. I don't know if you can see the branding there. It's a W something 20 XLR. Like it's actually an XLR mic that you put on there because I wanted something. Like I love the flexibility and mobility of this mic. It's always going to be with you. And I tried this one, and the V-Motor sounds better than this Shure. Ugh. Shure just got wrecked. And like they charge $80 and they charge 30.
So did you get any new? This is really my only tech pickup for the week is the Antlion mod mic. Well, I just reviewed the EVGA mouse, but I've had this since Land Syndicate. But now I'm using it I started using it like this past week, and now I'm using it every day.
New tech. I haven't got much, man. Like I've got a couple of new fans from Amazon. I did get a Razer Taipan mouse, but that was about it. I didn't get much this week because I have to get a lot of tech sold. Like I've got so much stuff I'm going to be putting together a vlog where I got to flip a few PCs because I've done all this testing with all this different gear now, and I've literally just got freaking hardware everywhere upstairs. So yeah, got to get that done. And of course, the Pascal announcement was pretty big. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna get a 1070. I think.
Dude, you sound so energetic right now. Did you just do like a pound of cocaine or something? You sound like you're about to jump out of your skin.
That's it.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So I'm about to. True. Yeah. But you think I'm like low, do you?
Yeah, you got to. I think. Well, you did just wake up. You got to get some. You got to get some of that coffee, and you're not using the jar.
I'm not
cup, so
drinking. I'm not drinking coffee, man. I drank like a freaking half a liter yesterday, and I'm like still buzzing from that. I don't know. Some people they absorb coffee well or something, but some people don't. I think I'm one of those dudes that doesn't, because I woke up this morning like feeling like someone was bloody had a jackhammer on my head, and it's like I don't know, man. Coffee does some weird shit to me. Hey, like it does. So
I think maybe that's what you need right before TGW, man. When you first wake up, maybe that's what you need.
Hey guys,
you need the jackhammer to the brain going on. I usually start off the day with coffee, and then I switch to just green tea. But I got some
green
coffee
tea's
now.
good, man. I just got a cup of tea, so I mean, I'll get better as the show goes on. It's just this morning's thing's kind of brutal, you know. So
yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
Well, I think everyone is hyped right now about the GTX 1080. Are you hyped? But this is our first TGW since the announcement. So we got to talk about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm perfectly honest. I'm not hyped about a 1080. I'm hyped about a 1070.
Why?
And because it's mainly with the 256.
Go big or go home.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, the 256-bit wide bit bus, you can double that if you get two of them, right? In SLI. So now you've got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, and then you've got 512 bit wide bit bus for $700, which. Yeah, that would be pretty good for a real high-end gamer, 1070s, providing the games are optimized for SLI. But we have to. I mean, I'm hyped for the 1070. I'm always hyped for those mid-range cards, you know, especially when in Japan, where literally that 1080. I will show you prices when it comes out. You'll be surprised. You'll be like, wow, it's like near $1,000. That's what'll happen here. And for me, the 1070 is going to be around about, I'd say, 450 here. Equivalent. So, you know, you got a little bit of a markup on the 1070, but the 1080, they're going to milk it here. Till the cows come home, you know? Mm-hmm. So, what about you?
Well, NoX actually just posed a question in the chat about the 1080. Put in a donation as well. Thank you, NoX, once again.
Oh, yeah.
About the 1080s in SLI being restricted. And I actually just found out about this right before we started the stream. I didn't even find a proper topic on it, but I'll bring up the original forum thread.
Through PCIe. They're not using. Are they using NVLink or this time around? They're using PCIe.
They've got regular SLI bridges, so PCIe.
Okay. Yeah.
But there was a question posed on the EVGA forums about it, and one of the EVGA tech guys got in and he said, "We can confirm that 1080 cards only support up to two-way SLI, and anything above this will not work no matter the SLI bridge. Please, however, keep in mind that if you do use a new SLI bridge along with two 1080 cards, that gives more performance than two-way SLI did in the past in previous series." So, I don't know. I mean, I would never go over two-way SLI personally, and I'm sure there's reasoning behind it. So, yeah,
dude,
maybe there's limitations to PCIe because it's moving so much memory so fast. Maybe it can't even keep up.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just say I don't know anyone besides Jay's 2 cents who runs 3 graphics cards. That's all.
That's true. He is known for running 3 graphics cards.
Yeah. So I mean, you telling me who actually does run 3-way SLI?
I don't know, but I think I think we saw when he did his 3 Titan X's that he had talked a lot about seeing limitations there even on his 8-core CPU, trying to push across all the frames that the 3 Titan X's were trying to process, and it couldn't keep up.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that just comes down to the CPU not being fast enough.
Well, it comes down to a few things, but I mean, what more would you need? If they are as fast as Nvidia is claiming, then why the hell would you want 4 of them? So,
well, I don't know the true reasoning behind it, but if it could maybe be that they are reaching a theoretical limit of what the PCI bus could even put out anyway. So
that is a possibility in some applications. Yeah, definitely. I think. I mean, I haven't looked into it too much, but I'd say yeah, maybe if they are that fast, you know. So anyway,
And would any CPUs even be able to keep it up with it anyway? I mean, even like the new Deca cores are still only going to be like 4 gigahertz. Like, yeah,
depends. I mean, it
they'll be
depends on
Deca cores,
the.
but if they're not fast enough to keep up with them, they're not fast enough.
It depends. It depends on the game, man. Like if the game's poorly optimized, hell, you know, you'd be running that G2 3258 with the frickin' thing, you know.
Well, I mean, if if you're trying to shuffle the frames of 3 or 4 cards being rendered out at the same time, the CPU just has to keep up with it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it depends on what application.
In order to get good
you're using.
scaling.
Yeah, but if you're using with a poorly optimized game or poorly optimized app, it doesn't matter what CPU you're gonna have, you know. But yeah, I mean a Deca core.
I believe
for a hypothetical, if the application, say for instance, the Deca core comes out, and the app supports 20 threads, and you've overclocked that Deca core, then 2 980s should be good to go. You know, like I should handle 2 980s fine.
Yeah, 2 980s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you begin to see the limitations when you're starting to push out so many frames that the CPU can't even keep up with putting them out, because the GPUs are rendered, like if you get three-way, 4-way SLI, it's rendering out so many frames at a point that the CPU actually becomes a bottleneck, that it can't handle all the frames that it needs to process for the SLI, and then regardless of what the application is, you're going to see a bottleneck there because of the CPU, and I think that's what was happening with Jay. It wasn't just
yeah. I mean, definitely could. Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely could be happening. Yeah. So, you have to link me the video. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen his Titan X 3-way video?
Nah, I don't think I have.
Oh man, that was like one of his best videos.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first topic we have today, since we're on the topic of GTX 1080s, is Pascal's dirty little secrets. I kind of already started talking about this in my last video about the power delivery on the 8-pin power connector. Could be limitations there for overclocking potential, because them saying here that it could potentially get up to around 2.5 gigahertz on a liquid-cooled setup, but with the 8-pin power connector, you would see a limitation there for how much you could actually apply to the card.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about that? We already saw them up near 2.2, but do we know exactly how much power was already being delivered at that point? And do you think they'll be able to go higher than the single 8-pin?
I mean, it depends, right? Like most of the overclocks you're gonna see, I think they're designing that power delivery around it's a smart. It could be a smart design. It could be an Intel. You don't know yet, right? Remains to be seen. Is it just they've done that because the masses won't need any more, or are they doing that for just strict cost cutting? But I'd imagine on a 1080 where they've gone all out on the cooler, they've done that because a lot of people are just going to slide that thing up 50 millivolt, and they're just saying, look, these are majority of people on this air cooler are not going to need anything more. And I think that will be the case. Of course, you're going to have your board partners then bringing in three, like the EVGA will probably bring in their Kingpin or whatever.
Cards, like hybrid cards with LN2 BIOS and options and all that.
Yeah, and that'll have extra power delivery and whatnot. So, I mean, I think for an air setup, like it's perfectly fine, right? 50 millivolt slider, whatever. Get your extra 400 megahertz out of the card. You're good to go. I think there's no real big complaints there, because I mean, if you're an enthusiast overclocker, you're not going to be getting a reference card. So,
yeah. Now the other topic I wanted to bring up out of this article here was Nvidia moving away from having the IPC gains as opposed to going for clock speeds now, essentially making this almost look like just a ramped up Maxwell card, which that's quoting Adore TV. He did a really good video on that. And it's actually true. I heard some information about this like right before they were going to announce the cards. People were talking about them actually not clocking, not having as good IPC as Maxwell. Yeah. And now we're seeing that's actually true, that they have favored the clock speeds, which is why you're seeing these cards like pushing out at like 1.7 gigahertz and overclocking to over 2 gigahertz, because they're moving more towards the clock speed. So, in essence, Maxwell is technically faster per core. In a way.
Well, that's what I mean. This article here is saying when we compare GM 200 versus GP 100,
980 Ti,
Pascal slightly lags behind Maxwell, which is very interesting. I mean, I thought with Pascal they would have got IPC improvement and clock speed improvement, but I mean, regardless, it remains to be seen. Really, remains to be seen what exactly they're going to do with the 1080 and the 1070. I mean, if they got much, if they got more CUDA cores and they've got much higher clock speeds, then I'd take that any day of the week. Especially if they're doing that with less power. So, with requiring less watts from the wall. So, I mean, yeah, I'm really curious to see once these cards hit out. I mean, this announcement is definitely, it's definitely shaken up. Like, it's got everyone in the tech community talking. Hey, like, I just can't go to a website now without reading about 1070, 1080. It's like, just hurry up and release the damn things and let's actually do some real tests,
Yeah, and there's a lot of it is, I think, is because Nvidia probably had. I mean, they're usually pretty strong with their marketing, but I think this time around, they laid on that marketing like thicker than Philadelphia cream cheese on an everything bagel. Okay, on a Sunday morning, mind you. I mean, they were just sitting there with the cream cheese, just like, you want more cream cheese? Like, we're just gonna keep on laying on this cream cheese. Stacks and stacks of cream cheese. The shit was laid on thick. I mean, thinking about the when they talked about the 1080 being twice as powerful as the Titan X, and if you look at the slides when they're showing it, they're talking about relative VR performance there, not actual game performance. And when you show the actual charts where they're talking about relative gaming performance, it looks more like the charts that they actually had on the website, which showed it, faster than Titan X, but nowhere near double Titan X. So if you think you're going to be running two Titan X's, keep thinking. It's more like it's more like two GTX 980s in reality, with a bunch more VRAM. So,
and some more pudding as well. You want pudding? You want pudding on that ice cream, bro?
That pudding and the cream cheese, bro. You got to get the cream cheese. The cream cheese. You got to get that cream cheese on there, man.
I don't know, man. So yeah, I think like at the moment, if you know me, man, I'm one to see through marketing hype. So it's like, okay, we've got the hype now. Time to deliver on this, Nvidia. So, and like I said in my video, I don't trust benchmarks from vendors, like from the companies themselves.
You never should.
Never. Nvidia's showing their fancy Witcher 3 and what was the other one? Tomb Raider. Yeah,
Rise of the Tomb Raider, and
showing those benchmarks, and I'm like, okay, that's great. Let's see it now from the independents. Let me get a 1070 and then let me test it and see if this is for real. Let me test it against a variety of games, 1440p and 4K, and we'll see how it goes. Really. That's that's it. We'll test out the overclocks as well. I'll be getting a retail sample too, so a lot of people will be able to say, hey, okay, this guy's done the test. This is how it performs. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll see. Like just at the moment, I don't think this is probably one of the biggest hypes in 2016. Probably, if not the biggest hype.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and there was one more thing before I wanted to move on here. This actually kind of works into the next thing with the partners announcing the Founders Edition cards, which was a question I had in my mind. But I'm glad to see that, so we're going to have more options there, even if they are all the same exact option, just with a different box. Some of the information here is talking about the potential pricing on the GTX 1080. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I keep getting so many people asking me about what I think will be the pricing, and that's really all this is going to be. This is just speculation. We don't have any inside track on this. We know the MSRP is $599. We know the Founders are shipping at $699. And this article here is suggesting that cards will sell anywhere from $50 to $150 above MSRP. Now, I think that's pretty accurate. I think this is my prediction, and you can tell me if you agree. I think most of the standard clocked board partner cards will probably come out around $650 to maybe like $680, with overclocked variants and special variants with unlocked BIOSes probably coming up towards like the $680 to $750 mark, and maybe like kingpins and stuff up even towards like $800. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'd say around you'd get the first, the custom coolers will be like $630. I'd say, you expect to get your sort of gigabyte, whatever, $630. I hope there's some cards that come out at $600. I hope Zotac. I know Zotac and, say, for instance, Galax, they do release cards at retail, recommended retail on launch. So I hope those two can deliver on that and be good for their brand name as well, because, will be good for their brand name. We also win the cost as a consumer.
So what's your prediction, though? When let's say EVGA drops their standard clocked card with the ACX3 cooler on it, What do you think
Okay.
the price is?
630.
630. That's
Yeah.
That's I would say that's pretty reasonable. That's above MSRP, but not as high as the Founders Edition. I think that sounds pretty accurate. That's what I was kind of thinking. Like 629 seems like a price it would be at.
Yeah, that seems about where they would price it at. I mean, the Founders Edition card is that Nvidia. I think like Jay's 2 cents really hit that on the mark, right? It's just they don't want to screw over the board partners, but they want to offer people that original option or some crap. I mean, yeah, I don't really get it too much, but yeah.
I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. I mean, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna pick up a Founders Edition, straight away because I want to get up the content and stuff like that.
What?
And
You're really going out and getting a Founders Edition?
well, yeah, I got to get them first. I got to be I got to be a founder, man. You got to get in early. So if you want to be a founder, you got to buy it right away. Otherwise, you're not going to be a founder.
What? Get the Walter White up there.
I'm taking that Nvidia marketing and I'm just wearing it on my body like clothing, like this Barnacle shirt that I have on. It's just
I'm making a what?
Nvidia marketing. Just wash over me with your Founders Editions.
Yeah, just completely wash, Joe.
Lather it up like Dial soap in the shower. Yes,
that's
get in
it.
There. Get that Nvidia in there in the crevices.
For your intro on your video, I want you to put the box down on the table. And then have after that you just getting washed away on the floor, like by a massive flood or something.
Actually, I do have an idea, but I can't say it because people are watching. But
right.
So I have up the topic here that we're looking at. We're talking about the Founders Edition. So just to let people know, I talked about this in the last video, but just to let you guys know, like all the board partners have now come out showing their Founders Edition packaging, and we've got some here from Inno3D, Galax, Gigabyte, Zotac, and EVGA. So looks like there'll be no shortage of reference or Founders cards, at least on launch from the other
Well, I'm getting a
manufacturers.
1070, and I'm not getting a Founders card. I'm just getting the cheapest 1070 I can get my hands on. End of story.
I would expect nothing less, Brian. And just real quick, I just wanted to say thank you to YouTube who gave $20, man. Thank you so much.
No, YouTube, you should have kept your $20, man.
said-
Joker's going to use it to buy a Founders Edition card.
I definitely, well, half of it. He said, thanks for the great entertainment info. I drive for a living, and TGW real helps keeping my sanity driving in LA traffic. Well, I can't blame you there, man. I've been in LA traffic. I've seen that movie, The Italian Job, and I love the joke in that movie that Jason Statham, handsome Rob, the one he makes. There's 3 kinds of traffic. There's regular traffic. It's like slit your wrist traffic. I can't remember the whole thing.
How the hell are we going from 1070s to Jason Statham? What the heck?
Because he talked about LA traffic, and I've made a correlation to make YouTube. I'm trying to make him feel included, man. He's given us a huge $20 a donation. I want to make the guy feel included, so we're talking about LA traffic and Jason Statham. Handsome Rob.
You're right, YouTube. Thanks a lot, man. Like, really appreciate the donation.
We do. We're gonna buy 1080s with it. 2 of them.
I'm not buying a 1080. No,
He's buying it.
That $10. That $10 is going towards a 1070, and then I'm probably going to be ghetto water cooling it. There you go.
Then you don't get a cut. Then sorry.
No, I get $10.
You're
Founders
cut,
Edition, man. You go out and hustle for your other freaking $700 for your stupid Founders card.
Your cut this month is getting removed for.
I'm
trying to save you from yourself.
An angry vet raises a good point. He says, "I'm surprised you aren't waiting for Polaris." I'm waiting for Polaris. I'm going to be getting a mid-range Polaris. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm getting both the 1070 and the 1070 equivalent from AMD. Don't worry. Yeah. So I'm not going out and buying a 1080. Not even interested in a 1080. That's just me.
Well, tell me this though. Being that you are the junkyard god and you're always looking for those deals.
Yep.
How do you feel about this 900 series getting a huge price drop here? Like the whole lineup, man. Like 980 Ti is down for as low as $540.
That's pretty good if you can't wait a couple of weeks,
Yeah. or if you don't feel like going on eBay and buying used. I sold one of my 980 Ti's. I got $450 for it. I know Bad Seed sold one of his. I think he got $500.
Well, you guys, I got like $700 from mine. I sold mine before all this hype.
Well, but
that's what you should have done. You guys cost 2 weeks, costed you $200.
Dude, you couldn't sell that card for $700 here, even if you got it the week after it came out. You have to think about where you are in the markup, where the market you live in. Like, how much would you have realistically gotten for it here at that time? Like, if you go on eBay in America, back at that time and see what the completed listings were, I'm curious to see what they are, but I doubt they'd be
Yeah.
700. Not when the cards ship for
Yeah,
650.
you're right. Well, that's the thing. From America, you know what you guys can do? You can ship it to a country that pays a lot more. So you probably could have got 700 for it.
But then you've got to pay import tax and shipping, and
Not
trust
if
me,
you buy it.
trust
Not
me,
if
I've
you
looked.
gift it to someone.
Well, I've looked into it in the past because I have friends in the UK who get completely bent over on VAT tax
They do, yeah.
for especially graphics cards. Like they almost pay the exact same amount in GBP that we do in USD, and their money is worth way more than ours because God save the Queen. And like we've looked at it, it was like, dude, you can get the card here like $130 less, but by the time I ship it to you and all this other stuff, you're gonna wind up like saving like $30-40, if maybe even just breaking even. And at that point, it's like, is it really worth the hassle? He's like, probably not. I'll just go ahead and order it for the extra 20 quid, mate. It's not above something like that. That's how the conversation goes. And then he just buys it anyway and takes it on the chin. So at least that's what's happened in the past with us when we've looked into it. It's like, after the shipping cost, it's not even worth it, man.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, from Japan, it's pretty cheap to ship a graphics card. I think a graphics card's not too expensive, but
Yeah, we've done some things in the past between you and me that have been okay because you were able to get something so much cheaper on the American Amazon or something you just couldn't get, period, over there.
America,
home of the electronics on Amazon.
So yeah, this is the exact thing
Dude.
that happened with the 780, except worse. I think this time around. I mean, remember when those 970s dropped? The 780s went down to like $300, which was actually, I mean, from retail for a brand new 780, that's actually pretty damn good at the time. But this time around, you see, at that time, the 970 was pretty much equal with the 780, if not a little bit slower. I forgot because the drivers for Maxwell were still young. But this time around, the 1070 is rumored to be a shitload faster than a 970. It's kind of the price equivalent, a little bit more expensive from MSRP, but that's what we're looking at now. It's a different situation. I'd see the 980 Ti's would be going down a lot more. This is only the beginning. They're only skimming the market, right? When the if the 1070s drop and they are faster than 980 Ti's, who the hell is going to want a 980 Ti? So yeah,
the only people that'll want them are people that are going to go on eBay and try to get them used if they have an older card, or if they're already running a 980 Ti and they're looking to pick up a second or a third one. The guy I sold mine to, I was actually already running 2 reference cards, and he was looking to pick up his third. So that's a lot of people are looking for that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you are on a budget and you're looking to build a new computer, I'd definitely wait out. I mean, don't get sucked into this whole, I can get a 980 Ti now for $500. Just wait, because they'll come down in price even more.
I just want before we move on from this topic, though, I just wanted to say one thing, dude. We've got 415 people watching right now.
Awesome. Highest ever, brothers.
You might call this the TGW of ages.
That's it. TGW. Look at this. I'm giving this away. You want me to boot it up? I can boot it up right now.
Oh my god. You could boot it up.
I could boot it up.
You might cause a power failure though.
Yeah. I mean, downstairs is funny. Downstairs here, I've got such a good.
Mine's over there.
Such a good circuit down here, man. I've loaded this thing up with aircon, like 3 computers. Yeah, like it's actually a really good circuit down here. Surprised.
Mine's over there in the pile of computers. I have I don't know, 3 computers on that table that I'm working on, and that's one of them. I'm trying to figure out a way I want to get this. I have a 92 millimeter Noctua fan, and I want to put it in there for the rear exhaust, but I've run out of fan headers on the board.
Okay, well, I'm going to be doing a fan test thing soon, I think. I've got so many different fans here that I got to test, and I thought, well, like reviewers, they send me fans. And it's like, I'm not doing a dedicated video on a review of a fan. I mean, who the hell's going to want to watch that? I'll do a comparison.
But what if it's like a really good fan, like a Venturi or something?
I don't know, man. Like Ace Ventura, like, are you talking about Jim Carrey? You just plaster his face on a fan.
Who? Wait, who? I missed something. I was looking at I was getting a DM. Like, what did you say?
You're talking about a Venturi fan. I'm like, no, it's not Ace Ventura. You know that movie?
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, they got a special fan, like with his face plastered on it. That'd be sick, eh? Have a Jim Carrey fan. And like, your computer's off and you see Jim Carrey looking at you. Then you start it up, you see his face spinning around.
I used to be a Giants fan. Now I'm just a small air conditioner.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Next topic, Battlefield 1. The hype. I'm so hyped for Battlefield 1. World War One, and now we've got confirmation that they're bringing back server browsers. Thank God for that, because they didn't have it in Battlefront. Awful game. Just if you haven't installed, still go uninstall it. Just go uninstall it. Battlefield 1 server browsers, though, confirmed. Awesome. Conquest mode returning. I understand it has to be there, but if I could be honest, I'm more of a Rush fan myself. I like Rush.
I'm a Team Deathmatch fan.
Oh, God, you nub. I'm hoping you go back to COD. Rip COD. Anyway, hashtag Rip COD.
Yeah. I mean, I got to admit, COD this time around has been destroyed. This Battlefield 1 not only looks way better.
Oh, my God, in every way.
I know, that's the thing. And it's also bringing it back to that World War environment. Hell yeah, like the fun times in games. I'm sick of all this, new warfare where you're walking on walls and all this crap. It's annoying, man. It really is annoying. And it's, double jumps and all this crap. Like, I was playing a bit of Black Ops 3 the other day, and like, you got these guys now just running around with like dual pistols. And like, you just like, you're aiming, you kill one guy, and then one guy literally jumps down from the freaking sky and just kills you. It's like, that you can beat that with skill. No, you can't. No one can beat that crap.
You can. The problem is, bro. You know what you got to do, Brian? You got to get good.
Yeah. Nice.
First, you got to get good, and then you'll get kills in COD.
Yeah.
What you're probably doing is wrong. Is you're not using a controller and aim assist, and that's how Call of Duty is designed to be played. So you gotta step up your controller game, man, and get an Xbox 360 like a pro.
I don't know. I'm not getting. I'm skipping COD, so I'll be getting Battlefield 1.
I was mentioning the Conquest mode is returning, which is not really a surprise. But what I'm hoping to see is Rush and maps that are designed to take advantage of Rush, which I really hope that they do this time around, because they got a lot of flack on it on BF4. They went back in and adjusted some of the maps with like Siege of Shanghai, which made it better, but for the most part, a lot of the other maps, especially DLC maps, were left untouched. The Dragon's Valley one were particularly bad for balancing on Rush mode. I remember one of the maps, like if you were attacking, you just had no chance. You have a helicopter, but you come around the corner, they have an AA gun just sitting there, and you have no way of getting away from it because there's no cover at all for your air vehicles, except for like a mile down the road past a mountain. If you can get past the AA gun, which takes you down that fast.
Yeah, chat's right, man. Chat's right. I got wrecked. You wrecked me.
I did. You did get wrecked. You get wrecked because you didn't get good. So, yeah. So we got confirmation.
I'm gonna be down the rest of the episode now. You got me.
Dude,
you got me good. I'm gonna rib you pretty hard one time, and you gotta take
right.
it on the chin. All right. I took this one on the chin.
You got it. Yeah. Well, you're used to that. So
get the gloves. Get the gloves on, man. Let's go a few rounds.
So the last thing I was going to mention out of this topic that interests me was the vehicles here. They said tanks will be controlled by both one person and multiple people. Alongside the planes and tanks, there will be a range of naval vessels for players to enjoy. So tanks, planes, naval vessels. My hope is that you can actually still get in the vehicles just like you could in previous Battlefield. I heard some very early rumors right after the trailer about having something similar to like the hero pickups in Battlefront. Now, I haven't found any information about that, but some of my friends were talking about it. I don't know where they saw that info. Maybe if you guys know about it in the chat, if you read that somewhere, you could let me know exactly what the details were for that. I don't think if they did announce something like that, I don't think they gave specifics. But anything that's like the hero system, I don't want in the game. I want to be able to go get in vehicles and drive vehicles.
So what's the deal this time? It's still an AMD vendor partnered game, because you remember last week we were commenting. You got the announcement on the round about the same time, and you were like, "Oh, it's going to be with Nvidia this time."
WCCF was. We were just reporting on a story. I can't be held accountable for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. But I think it looks like it still would be AMD kind of.
We saw there was like the day of the Nvidia announcement. There were some tweets that went out from AMD about Battlefield announcement, and then it was like people were like, "Oh, I guess that's not true, is it?" It's like, it's starting to look that way. And one of the later articles we're talking about with Vega actually might expand on that a little bit. Actually, you want to move that up, the Vega article, since we're
let's move the Vega article up. Yeah, definitely. I think people want to hear about AMD. Like Battlefield 1 is everywhere. But with Battlefield 1, unlike Pascal and Vega and stuff, speculating on a video game is mediocre at best, right? I mean, you just want to play the game.
I just want to use the graphics cards too, but here we are.
And with games, a lot of the time, the previews that we see are a lot worse than the actual game when it comes out. So, at least with graphics cards, if they get hyped, they usually deliver somewhat in the same realm. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Vega.
The Vega article. What they're talking about is this is a really big rumor. Like, so take this with.
Can we pause this? That's that guy in Street Fighter, yeah, Vega, the guy who climbs on walls.
Vega, yeah, he's the guy with the claws. He looks kind of like Wolverine, if he was a meth addict with a mask.
Yeah, why are they not putting that in this marketing? Why are they not pairing up with Street Fighter?
I don't know. I would want Guile music. I wouldn't want Vega. They should call it AMD Guile.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then they could play Guile's theme music when Raja walks on the stage.
Where are like, I mean, they go on one Street Fighter. They need more Street Fighter names, you know. Tiger. They need.
Yoga Flame.
That's it, man.
Okay. Anyway, so back to the dump truck of salt that I was talking about, taking this story with from video cards. They are crediting 3D Center here with as their initial source that AMD will be pushing Vega up to an October launch, which would be ahead of schedule because it wasn't meant to be coming out until 2017. And my thought on that was that, yeah, that's probably likely that it's coming out in 2017 because I remember us discussing HBM2 being delayed and having some limitations, which is why we didn't get it this year for Pascal. So I would be very surprised if we got HBM2 in October, and they're talking about releasing the cards right along the same time as Battlefield.
So what does that mean for Polaris, though? I mean, that's the thing, right? If we're talking Vega now, what does that mean for Polaris? I mean, I really got my hopes up for Polaris, and they really have to get something out. They really have to get something out soon. I mean, if Nvidia's dropping cards on May and frickin' June, waiting till October is a huge gap.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the other topic we had here was with AMD Polaris, and they're talking about in this article is that it's going to be shipping very soon. But it's still talking about what me and Keith had talked about is that they're really not targeting to take down Pascal with this lineup for Polaris 10, which a lot of people said, oh, just wait for Polaris. No, just wait for Vega. If you guys are if people are waiting for flagship AMD cards that are going to take down Fury and Fury X cards for AMD side, Polaris is not it. It's Vega.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Everyone's starting to talk about AMD making a comeback. AMD's, especially Adore TV. A lot of people are linking me to this Adore
AMD
TV
is making
article.
A comeback.
No, this is the thing. How can they ever make a comeback if they're playing follower? They need to play leader.
But that maybe. But AMD has always been a price to performance company, and they did really well back around the 7970, the card that you have in the other system right now, because of the price to performance on that and how it had a price to performance that was kicking the ass of the GTX 680 for a really long time. And it had more video memory at 3 gigabytes on the base model versus the 680s, where you had to pay more and get an exclusive FTW card for like 4 gigabytes.
And at the time, their cards were plagued by massive stuttering, which I don't know why people don't mention that.
If this lineup, I think it will actually be in a really good place because with Nvidia seemingly only going after the high end or the flagship performance. If they have these cards and they're talking about Polaris 10 coming out at $300 and kicking the ass of a 390X or being close to a 390X for $300, that's going to give them a really good price point, especially if Nvidia is not launching anything at that price point for who knows how long until we see 1060s rolling out.
But
this comes out soon, we could see a pretty good long period of time where they're filling that sub $300 price point where Nvidia is not addressing it on Pascal.
But that's the thing. They keep, rival cards, competitor cards. They need more than that. They need to release a card that just trumps Nvidia's offerings. Because that's
But not everyone can go out and spend $400 on a graphics card. And if you look at the Steam charts for the kind of GPUs people are using, most people are not using $300 and up graphics
that's the thing.
Cards.
You're going to have
old systems because they don't bother playing. Most of them are playing League of Legends and stuff.
That's what I mean. You're going to have $200 970s out there. You have $200 970s out there once 1070 comes out. So, I mean,
why would you buy? Yeah, but why would you buy? Let me ask. Well, sorry to cut you off, but why would you buy that when you have Polaris coming out and beating that for around the same price and with full DirectX 12 support and better async compute for DX12?
It depends. Are they going to get it? Are they going to get a $200 card out? Are they going to get a $280, 300 low 300?
Well, if
Are
they
they going to
launch,
get those cards out? Are they going to get them out before Nvidia gets them out?
well, they're talking about in this article releasing them really soon. Now we don't have a date yet, but I would think that they're going to probably try to get something out pretty quick to try to rival Nvidia.
Well, they should. They should. That's the thing. They should. They should hurry up and do it.
Yeah, I don't know when these are coming. We're still waiting to hear details on it, but I'm excited for Polaris to see what it could do at the mid-range because I think that's going to fill the price point for a lot of people out there who are waiting for AMD cards, but that doesn't mean that it's going to take on 1080 or 1070, which I know there's some people that still think that that's a possibility. I guess you'll just have to wait and see. If you don't believe us, then I guess you'll have to wait on that one.
No, like I don't believe much. I don't believe what Nvidia's bringing out until they bring it out. I don't believe what AMD are bringing it out until they're bringing it out. Like we've seen so much hype, but we have to deliver on that hype. And I'm worried now a little bit about AMD if they're saying, okay, let's start talking Vega. It's like, what does that mean for Polaris? That's all.
Yeah.
It's like just playing a poker game and being like, oh guys, I've got the best hand. Let's just hurry up and play the next hand. I mean, it looks fucking stupid, doesn't it? Like,
possibly.
Like if you're playing a game of poker with someone and they're doing that, what are you gonna say? No, let's keep playing this hand. I'll raise you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, and I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I think AMD's trying to go after the price to performance and that entry level VR market, which is what they've talked about. And if they can do VR cheaper than Nvidia for entry level, I think a lot of people are going to want to get on that. So we'll see though. I think it's going to do fairly well from them, and then they're going to have Zen to follow that up as well. So,
yeah, I mean, I hope they do deliver, but they have to deliver. And if they don't, they have to deliver. And if they don't, it's like GG AMD. You saw me got wrecked on the stream. It's going to be a lot worse for AMD. They're going to get, like, if they don't deliver, that's what I'm worried about. We need AMD. And people are right. We need them in the market. We need them.
Me too. It's exciting times, and I think that they're probably going after the right market on those cards if they can't compete with the Pascal high end or even beat the Pascal high end. So I think this might be it might be a safe play, but it also might be the right play for AMD right now to not go and take on Nvidia head on and then only to just lose again. When they could sit back and they could wait for HBM2 to come out and then, okay, this is what we've been waiting for our flagships, rather than what Pascal is doing is saying, okay, we're not ready for HBM2, but here's this while you wait. And then, people like me are going to go out and buy them and then wait, and then we'll get the full Pascals when those come out.
Yeah, it's because you're,
I'm not the only one, though. There are plenty of consumers out there that are doing probably do the exact same thing, because it makes sense if you sell your stuff to upgrade, which is what I usually do. I sell a card to pay for a card, and it works out. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting 30% increase in performance, but it also only cost me like a 30% markup in price because I sold my card for $450.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It makes sense. It makes sense if you sell to upgrade each generation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay, you have to stay on it though, because if you miss one generation, then your card becomes worthless pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the next one you'll be full upgrade.
Yeah, but you look at the hype that Nvidia is creating. Just all you have to do is take a look at it, right? You've got every single tech channel talking about the 1070, the 1080. That's free marketing for Nvidia. Free marketing. They don't have to pay a cent for that. Here we are, us two guys, talking about Nvidia, whatever, 20 minutes. Free marketing. People in chat are just going at it. 1070, 1080. I haven't heard so many 1070, 1080s in my life. I've just been seeing the chat. That's free marketing for Nvidia. Now, AMD need to do the same thing. They need to start, teasing cards properly. They need to start hyping their cards up and then delivering on that. And then they need to deliver on that. And that's, Nvidia are doing that so well. You can't argue that. Yes, Nvidia done some change.
Nvidia has way better marketing than AMD. I will not debate that for a second.
And that's the thing, though. In this day and age, man, you have to have good marketing. You have to be able to do that properly. Otherwise, you're going to go. You could have the best card, but this is the thing, right? You could be the best craftsman at what you do in the world, but if no one knows about your services, you ain't shit. That's the bottom line. So marketing is so important.
You know how Nvidia does that, don't you?
What? What do you mean? What?
You know how Nvidia does that, don't you?
Does what?
The marketing.
Yeah.
Cream cheese.
Well, that's it. Yeah. And pudding on your ice cream.
There you go. I hear at the DreamHack Nvidia was serving heavy amounts of cream cheese at craft services.
That's it. I bet you it was tasting.
I think I've adopted
all those boys were there just like, Well, that's I may have that. I'm not. I don't have a runny nose this week, so
No, but I think I have it now. I think I have the running.
But I
nose
bet
now.
you
I
everyone-
think I got it from you.
I just gave it to you over the internet.
There you go.
That's some next level shit, man. So we got here, people are at the event just eating that cream cheese, and they're just like, "Nvidia, more, please."
Hey man, hey, we joke, but the hype is real. The hype is real. I can't wait to just see cards from anyone, whether it be Pascal or Polaris. I want some new GPUs to test and throw in the system and see what we can do with these, because I'm bored of my 980 Ti right now at this point. I just want something new.
Naki Dye makes a good point in the comments. What AMD lacks is funds, yes, and they need to use their money for R&D, not marketing. No, they need to go get outside sourcing, and they need to let someone take over the company. I've already said this in the past.
Yeah,
it's just straight up, man. Cynical as it is, that's what needs to happen with AMD. They need more money. Bang, and you can have the master plan. You can have. I could sit here concocting the master plan on how I'm going to take over the world, but I ain't taking the world over without money.
Yeah, you have to be able to market yourself. The best man for the job doesn't always win. Sometimes it's just the man who sells himself better. I mean,
exactly.
Just look at I don't want to bring up politics and get anyone mad, but just look at Hillary versus Bernie. And why is she winning so much? Well, she's got all the super delegates in her back pocket, and they pay, and the super.
Okay, I gotta raise a question. Okay. All right, you're talking about Hillary Clinton. Would you rather vote for Dizzle?
No.
Why not? Come on, man. Like over Hillary.
Because he's the second coming of Hitler. I didn't want to get into politics, but you want to bring that up. The guy is pure evil.
Dude, no, just Dizzle.
No, he's not Dizzle. He's evil.
So you'd rather vote for Hillary than Dizzle.
If given if push comes to shove and I have to vote for either Hillary or Trump, I will vote for Hillary's cankles 7 days a week versus Donald Trump's mullet or helmet head, whatever you want to call it.
So he hasn't got one. So he hasn't got one death on his hands, but you're comparing him to Hitler. Anyway, let's get off politics. Yeah,
that you know of. Well, let me ask you this.
He's just pushing people off buildings. Yeah, Hitler.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather look at Donald Trump's helmet hair, or would you rather look at Hillary's cankles?
I'd rather look at his helmet hair, bro.
Oh, God. I'd rather look at those cankles marching across stage all day. But anyway, let's move on from AMD and Hillary's cankles. Trump.
Yeah, I'd put my vote in for Dizzle, and I'm so dizzy.
I bet you are. Well, we got Witcher 3 up here, man. We got Witcher 3. Blood and Wine expansion. I've been waiting for this one for a while.
People get so touchy on politics, eh?
Yeah, they do that when people try to talk about politics in America that don't know anything about American politics. It tends to happen.
Ooh, here we go. Joker's back on the roasting.
Well, dude, we've had this discussion before, man. You just throw out all this stuff about Trump, dude, last time we talked about politics, you said afterwards, dude, I'm never bringing up politics again. After the comments you kept getting.
Okay, yeah, true. Right.
Bernie 2016. So glad he won West Virginia, even if he's not going to win overall. Bernie. Feel the burn. So anyway, back to Witcher 3, gaming news. It's coming out May 31st. Can't wait for this. It's going to be 30-plus hours of content and like a ton of freaking speech dialogue and all that stuff. Brian's over there giggling about Trump, which he thinks is funny.
People do get so freaking touchy on politics, hey?
Because it's serious. It's not funny. It's not like joking about who's going to win American Idol. It's very serious. The guy could literally ruin our entire country and bring the world to its knees, with nuclear weapons. But everyone, let's just vote in Trump and let's see what happens.
Well,
World War III happens.
Just see what happens, bro. Put your vote in.
Concentration camps happen. Walls happen. Taxes happen. Not free healthcare happens.
Lower taxes.
No, increased taxes for the poor, less for the rich.
How so? I've actually read his tax plan, man.
I don't want to get into it. I want to get into Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. 30-plus hour adventure. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, man. Because you obviously don't want to talk about that, and I don't want to talk about politics.
It's a
Radeon Crimson Software, man. You want to take this one?
All right. Just chill, man. Just chill. Let's chill. You're getting tense, man. I'm just having a joke, His name's not Donald, by the way. It's Dizzle.
Do you want to get on to the next topic?
Yeah. All right. AMD Crimson Software Edition 16.5 beta now here. Here's what it brings. So they've recently. That's a new word. They've recently released this update recently. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So apparently, Forza 6 Motorsports, Apex optimizations.
Yep,
Anyone?
that's what they're
Yeah.
working on here with this driver, bringing on
Yep.
optimization for Forza 6,
Yep. And
which is
so,
the first DX12 title that's actually running well on the UWP, which is from what I've heard. I haven't actually played it yet, but I've heard it's running reasonably well. Even like 980 Ti is handling it at 4K.
yeah. There's also The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. They're fixing some flickering problem there. So, yeah, good. It's good to see that new updates. They haven't fixed my driver problem with my Acer monitor yet, which is an 8-year-old monitor. And whenever I plug an AMD card into it, it gets the psychedelic problem. I'm actually going to show that in a vlog. People are like, man, why is the screen like going so crazy and stuff? It's just this monitor's driver with an AMD card. I actually tried it. Every other Nvidia card, the problem doesn't happen. And surprisingly, if I Alt-Tab and then I go back into it, it's fine. So, in some programs. So that's why I've been doing. People are like, why are you doing full screen window mode? That's why I've been doing full screen window mode, because I don't get that psychedelic crap coming up when I'm actually trying to do a proper benchmark. So,
Yep.
can I say something?
No. Next topic we have up is Electronic Arts 2016 lineup for E3. They've got laid out their entire lineup here for E3. So we also learned about a new Battlefront game too. Also, I saw recently this week Battlefront 2 is confirmed. They're working on that. That was
Okay.
just a side topic to bring up. But for E3, they're going to be showing off Mirror's Edge Catalyst, new FIFA, Madden, and NHL. Big surprise there. That's
Yeah.
basically when you turn off E3 for a half hour, because they'll probably bring out some Sports Star to talk about a game. And then Battlefield 1, the hype for that, cool. Titanfall 2, I'll be excited for that if they get rid of bots. And NBA Live, Mass Effect, Andromeda. I do want to see Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect.
Yeah, I mean, Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2 will be interesting. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, yeah, there's some good games on there. Mass Effect, Andromeda. I'm not a big fan of the sports games. I don't really play them much. I would love to try FIFA again one day. I really enjoyed that on the Nintendo 64, I think it was. There was a FIFA on that was really good back in the day. But yeah, you could solo it. You like the defense, you get the ball and you run it all the way up and you just kick a goal. You're like, oh, how you like them apples? Can I say something? Come on, dude. Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Let's make AMD great again.
So anyway, next topic, Need for Speed is coming out with a new game in 2017. Ghost Games confirmed they are working on a new Need for Speed game that's going to be coming out next year. Yeah, another racing game, Need for Speed. Big shocker there, eh?
Yeah, dude. What? Like, does this cheer you up, man? What's going on? Like,
It's not funny.
Yeah, but let's just forget about it. Get back on track. Like,
You know how you forget about it is not keep bringing it up and trying to make the joke again.
Okay. All right.
That's how you forget about it. Usually, not bring it up again and keep trying to dig into there.
Well, I mean, man, you gave me a ribbon before earlier on the show. Told me
It's
to get
not
good.
being a ribbing though. It's being completely ignorant to the topics and not taking honest information and just saying, "Oh, I know this," when you don't know this.
I got good, man. I got good, and I came back.
No, you didn't.
And then
Talking about Trump is not coming back. So let's just move on
good.
from that and just drop it.
Okay. All right, new Need for Speed game coming in 2017. What remains to be seen is some gameplay, which I think is the most important thing when we're announcing hype for games. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. Let's talk about Need for Speed, right? I used to love it back in the day, but then it increasingly became this game where, like, your car is going through, like, some hyper warp speed. That's what it felt like. And I sort of slowly became to enjoy the series less and less. How about you?
I haven't cared about a Need for Speed game since like 1999.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of talking about. Like, back when Need for Speed was good for me, and then it kind of just like died down to this point where I'm not kind of hyped for it. If they're going to do that whole put you in the, like you're in the Millennium Falcon and you're putting in hyperspeed, it's kind of like I don't want to play the game. So, like, I like to play a real racing game. So I'm really looking forward to the next Gran Turismo, because apparently Sony's going to nail that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, the last one wasn't great. It was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
And Project Cars was kind of a letdown because they didn't have enough cars in the game called Project Cars.
Yeah.
Could have used some more of those in there.
Well, they could use a random Frank P spice up, Project
Well,
Cars Tour.
There you go. That's what they need.
Yeah.
So we got another topic here on Amazon is actually looking to launch its own YouTube-like video service. It's live now. It's called Amazon Video Direct, where people can go on there. You can upload videos, and then you could charge like a subscription fee, or you can do ad revenue or whatever. But Amazon's actually taking 50% of the revenue, which is way more than what YouTube does. YouTube takes 30%, and you get the remaining 70%, and then that's divvied between you and your network if you are with a network. So Amazon is going to take even more, but they're launching their own service. So remains to be seen how successful it is. I don't know how the interface will be, or if anyone will even use it. But
it could be
probably
another.
Look into it.
Yeah, it could be another vessel. You never know. Yeah.
It could be, but I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I'm not a big fan of their video streaming service that they have right now. So if it's anything like that, then I probably wouldn't be too keen on it.
Yes,
and their websites are really slow.
I mean, knowing Amazon though, they won't release this without they won't put this out there without it just being complete trash. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. So I mean, 50% though is pretty low. I mean, if you want YouTubers to legitimately come over, shouldn't you be going the opposite way? Shouldn't you be giving them 80% or a bit more than what YouTube's offering if you want to take people away from YouTube? Because offering us 50% when YouTube's given us 70 or something, it just doesn't make any sense, or dollars for that matter. So kind of surprised at that move. I mean, obviously Amazon, I love Amazon in every other way, but this is kind of like, what are they doing here? I guess they want to mix that in with their Prime membership to spice up their Prime membership, which is a good thing, but they've got to remember, when you want content creators coming over to your platform, you've got to take care of the content creators. You've got to give them a reason to come over. And I mean, 50%, I don't imagine too many people are going to be like, oh yeah, unless they do a vessel, they start paying people, the bigger creators, bigger money and getting them over. So who knows?
I'll look into the platform. If the platform looks decent as far as the interface and stuff is concerned, I'll consider it. But otherwise, if it's clunky and slow, then I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
I'll just have to wait and see on that one. Interfaces that I will be using though is the WhatsApp finally launched a desktop app. We had talked about this a while back when they had launched their end-to-end encryption for mobile phones, and I was saying I would like to see a desktop app that I could use that, because I currently use like Skype primarily for messaging, which is not secure. So I was looking for this, and there it is. Now they've got a desktop app for WhatsApp. So end-to-end encryption and all that, no ads. There's actually a good article that links off of this talking about why they don't have ads and everything, and it's actually a really good, really good business plan coming from these guys. It is owned by Facebook, so it seems like completely counterintuitive to everything else Facebook does. So it's interesting to see. I'm going to be using it though for sure.
Well, I mean, for WhatsApp, the encryption thing. I know you love your encryption, that's for sure. So, I mean, WhatsApp. So, I mean, WhatsApp's huge now. So, definitely it's a good thing that they're doing what they're doing. We've already talked about encryption and stuff before. I don't really want to go down that road again. So otherwise we'll get into a bigger debate on American politics. And because I'm the outsider, I honestly, I don't really know too much about what's going on in America. So, I'm just going to really...
Well, I'm definitely gonna check this out. I've been using WhatsApp on my phone. If you guys use WhatsApp on your phone and you wanted to get something for the desktop similar, so you can keep in touch with people, then this is gonna be really convenient. So now when I get message on it, I don't even need to pick up my phone. Just use the app. Sweet.
Yeah.
Last topic that we have here today before we get into Q&A and Thrones talk is the GTX 1080 PCB here, which we're gonna look at. So also get your questions fired into chat for us if you want to ask us any questions.
Yeah.
Non-Trump related ones. And we'll and looking at this PCB though, what do you think about that? It looks pretty friggin' filthy, if I gotta be honest.
What's this? Which one?
The 1080 PCB.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is what's going on, right? They're cost cutting in a smart way. You could call it that. I mean, it depends on what they're doing. If they are skimping out, I mean, you can't really see the VRM too well, but maybe they're skimping out on that. I mean, look, when you look at the PCB compared to the 980 Ti, there's less on there, right? And what that means for Nvidia is they're going to be, it's going to cost them less to produce it, but not just the die, everything else, right? So that's more profit for them. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's what R&D does. If they have a good design that's bringing more performance for less componentry, then hey, at the end of the day, all that matters is what I'm getting in games.
Yep.
So it just depends. It remains to be seen the actual quality of those components. I mean, they got a close up there on that cap. That does look like a little bit of a cheap cap there, the one with the red head on it.
Yeah.
So
They didn't do too bad with the thermal paste though. I was actually looking forward to when I got the 1080. I was going to rip it off and check the thermal paste job.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how they did.
Yeah, I'll be doing that too. So see how the 1070 goes.
Yeah.
But the VRMs, yeah, someone in the comments said the VRMs look cheap. So I hope that's not the case. Ugh.
Yep.
Because I mean they're advertising this whole craftsmanship thing, right? And then they're going putting a cheap VRM on there. What what the hell's that? What's that about? So
yeah, I don't know. Let's see what kind of questions we got. When will Nvidia come out with the GTX 1440 GG
Yeah.
Commodore?
Okay, do we want to just add, we'll go to questions now. So
Yeah. Yep. Looking at.
yeah.
So do you think the 1080 Ti comes later this year with HBM2? No, I don't think that'll happen this year. I think I think when we do get the full HBM2 cards, I think initially they'll probably will do a Titan variant and maybe a 1080 Ti, but I don't think that'll be until next year. And I reckon the Titan will probably be $1,000 like a Titan is, and it'll be the full fat Pascal, and there'll probably be a cut down 1080 Ti version, just like they did on Maxwell. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
And if that happens, would you upgrade at that point to a 1080 Ti if you had the 1070?
It depends on the prices.
On the full
of course. I mean, it depends on the prices, right? See, like this time around, I actually got to admit, upgrading to a 980 Ti this time, I didn't really like it that much. I mean, yeah, it was a good card at 4K and whatnot. It's just that, I mean, I can handle with a 970. Like, I don't know. Because I got the 1440p monitor here. I'm really not that like. As long as the games give me a decent experience, whether it's a 1440p or 4K, I'm not too fussed. As long as, because I play the game for the game. So, spending that 980 Ti cost me like $800. And, I did it. I usually don't do that, but I did it because, shit happened last year and, a little bit down and whatnot. But yeah, I probably won't be doing the 1080 Ti. It's like, probably just stick with a 1070.
Someone asked, what can AMD to win over the 1070 and 1080? I'll let you take that one.
So what can AMD do? Release 14 nanometer and just clock it to the sky. That's what they can do. Yeah. And as simple as that, man. And, that's what they need to do with their Polaris architecture. So that's the thing, right? It remains to be seen.
What about HBM? The scoop? Would you put HBM on it?
GDDR5X, I think, is that what they're forced to do at a low price bracket, right?
I don't know if they could get DDR5X at this point because I think there's such limited. We've already heard them talking about how limited amounts were that people might have trouble getting 1080s and stuff because of limitations on DDR5X.
I mean, sorry.
Do you remember a couple months ago we did a story about DDR5X, where it was talking about Micron not having enough to ship until the end of summer? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was true. Yep.
Yeah, that I remember hearing that, and then when they announced the 1080s with the DDR5X, I remember thinking, how they're even doing that if they're having limitations on how much DDR5X will be even until the end of summer. So I don't know how they're going to have it now, but looks like they did. So I guess they got some exclusive access to that stuff.
So I mean, it depends. Like that's the thing. That's it, right? So what strings have they pulled for that? But what remains to be seen is like how much would HBM be too expensive to implement on the lower cards at the moment, right? So that means you're going to have to essentially bring out something like a 390X, but it's on 14 nanometer, it clocks a lot better, and that could definitely compete. So I mean, it depends, right? It remains to be seen how good. And what's the scoop? Does anyone know how good the 14 nanometer yields are? What's the scoop on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does anyone know? Because I tell you now, those 16 nanometer yields, damn, they look impressive.
Well, I imagine 14 will be even that much better, but it'll probably be like splitting hairs at that point.
It depends,
it's
right?
So close.
Could it be an Intel job? Like, Intel had those problems with yields. Could Samsung be facing something similar? Because I'd love to know the inside deal on the 14 nanometer. Is it as good as the 16 nanometer from TSMC? That remains to be the real thing that I'm worried about. A lot of people are talking about Polaris and whatnot, but if Polaris is held back because of Samsung, then AMD is screwed. You know what I mean? These are possibilities that I've been worried about and I need to know about. But if the 14 nanometer yields are good to go, then we're all good to go.
Legend Faith wanted to know if he should get another 970 to SLI or get a 980 or get a 1080. Well, definitely don't get the 980. And between 970 SLI and 1080, I would take the 1080 and sell the 970 personally, and just go with the single GPU solution, which will probably beat two 970s anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with the 1070. Just wait for the 1070. Call it a day.
Yeah. Thanks, Coggles. We saw two come in. I don't think I saw a third one. If it was on the TGW button, I didn't see it come in. But if you did, thank you. And we will definitely split it. Got everything gets added up, and we'll be splitting it. So thank you though.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got.
Yeah. Hold on. What's the time? Gotta be careful a little bit with time. Oh, cool. We got heaps of time. Yeah, you guys shoot your questions away. Do you think we'll have a 1080 with a water block? I think this time around they will be rushing out the water blocks as quick as they can. I think you won't see I think this will be the fastest generation of water block support you'll ever see. Just cause, right?
Yeah.
They make good money off those water blocks. People want them. There's more as people get more and more into enthusiast tech, more and more people decide to water cool. So the market itself is kind of growing. So you definitely will see some custom. I mean, from the factory though, from EVGA or whatnot, I don't know, right? That remains to be seen. That's sort of a bit of R&D that the company has to do, and I'd say it wouldn't be that profitable. But if someone like EK or there's other brands out there, water cool, definitely think they'll be doing that.
Yeah.
So should we get the Founders Edition? No. Joker wants to get it because he just wants to be ASAP. He wants to.
Yeah, I mean,
and for the viewers,
I like reference cards, man. I love the coolers because I think they look sexy as hell, and the build quality on them is amazing. If you've ever held a reference card, if you had cards like MSI cards and all that, and then you get a reference card and you hold it in your hands, you'll be like, wow, this thing is just built like a tank. It's just so solid, and it just feels like the way a graphics card should. And not only that, because I use a Define R5, which doesn't have good airflow, and I use SLI, it's extremely beneficial for me to use a blower style cooler. Now, will there be other blower style coolers out there? Yes, but most of them usually look like cheap plastic coolers, and they're not not as good as the ones from Nvidia, and they usually just look like crap. I've seen those plastic ones are not nice. They look like AMD reference coolers that they used to have, which were very, very bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the reference cards, and I want to have it day one pretty much to covered for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm just waiting for the 1070 because that's what my channel's all about, man. That's what I love. I love the price performance sector, so I'm going to be sticking there, regardless of how long I got to wait. Also, I got asked about 6.87 Dota 2. They released a big patch. Yeah, I am not liking it at all. The whole meta's changed. The whole those new items have changed the whole game. What you're seeing now is Faceless Void or whatever his name is that's an off lane strat. They put him on the off lane. That's like an old school Heroes of New Earth strat, and then they nerf that hero in Heroes of New Earth. So what you'll see is they'll probably nerf the Faceless Void in Dota 2 because now you've got these items that give your characters extra range. So all these extra range heroes, Faceless just jumps in, drops his ulti, your whole team kills him with extra range, GG. And then you got all these other items. I don't know. I'm really not liking 6.87 for Dota 2. My ratings dropped a heap too. So.
Do you think recommending cards before reviews are out is a bad idea?
Yeah.
If you're gonna sit there and tell someone, the thing I don't like answering is when people come to me and they say, "Oh, Joker, if I get a GTX 1080, will I be able to max out every game at 1440p, 60 FPS?" And I ignore those questions because, A, I don't have your system, B, I don't have the card, and C, I haven't tested it on that game, so I won't answer that. But if someone comes to me and says, before the guy says, do you think I should sell, get two 970s or get a 1080? in that situation, I think the 1080s are going to be better than doing an SLI setup in that situation. Could I be wrong? Maybe, but I still think a single GPU is going to be better than SLI. Most of the time out there for most people. So that's why I would steer someone towards the single GPU solution, unless they,
The thing is, I do
SLI.
I do recommendations. Recommendations are just that. It's my opinion. Now, this is what I do generally. I get the card. I usually sell when the rumors start heating up a lot. That's when I sell my shit. You know what I mean? That's when I sold my 980 Ti before all this hype. Got good money for it. And then I just tell people, just wait. Just wait until the new generation stuff drops, especially on graphics cards. CPUs, you don't have to worry too much. I mean, Intel's just trickling out shit. Zen's something to look forward to, admittedly. Zen's something that we're all waiting for. But when it comes to the GPUs, just always wait for that new generation, especially if it's just around the corner. This time around, we've got those node shrinks, which is huge. And I've said this before. This will be the biggest year for graphics cards. Next couple of years after this, we're still going to be on 16 nanometer, 14 nanometer, so it's not going to be as exciting. 2016 is going to be exciting because we've got those node shrinks. Now, you will definitely want to wait an extra month, extra 2 months. And when they drop, when those 1080s and 1070s drop, you're going to see the 980 Ti's drop even more. I'd say you might even be able to pick one up for 450, 400. Just shooting that out there. Possibility. What do you think?
I think I want a Founders 1080.
Just get that. Yeah, just like.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were talking, but I wasn't really hearing words because I was infatuated with the Founders Edition. I was just looking at all of them, and I was rubbing the boxes with my mouse cursor, and I was looking at the gigabyte eye of Smaug staring at me, just like, yes, I want you to come to me. Yes, last time around I got an MSI and a gigabyte. It was like whatever. I don't care. Just give me something. I don't care.
All right, so this is your intro. This is your intro. You put the 1080 on the box, and then you just simulate not just water, like green water, just washing you away into heaven.
Well, dude, if I get a reference card, that means I'll be able to more easily do liquid cooling, right? Get some water blocks. Maybe that's something we could look to do down the road. Do a custom Joker PC.
That's it. But it'd be purple, wouldn't it? It'd be purple water.
It would have, the build would have purple accents for sure.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted, if I ever did a liquid cooled PC, I always wanted to get black liquid. If I could find like a really, really black liquid.
Yeah. What do we think? How much more do we expect from the 1080 compared to a Titan X? Ugh. I mean, look, 25, 30%. That's what I've been hearing. That seems pretty solid. Rumors are generally, when you start hearing a lot of rumors, that's generally true. So I'd say 25% over a Titan X looks pretty good. That's based on we haven't seen actual benchmarks, like anyone sitting here running numbers. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. There are some Ashes of Singularity numbers that you can find because they keep leaderboards for when people test their stuff. So you can actually go on there, and you could see some benchmarks where it shows here's the 1080 being tested at 4K in Ashes of the Singularity, and how it was doing in its score relative to other cards on the same thing, and find similar systems. And there's quite a few forum threads out there where you can find that information. Or just go to the Ashes of Singularity benchmarking leaderboards and look through there. Right on the Ashes of Singularity website. So. Yeah, I got asked, what do you think about the older Xeons for gaming? I love older. The 1200 V2 range. The V2s, the lower 1220s and stuff, they don't have hyperthreading. If you can get the 1230 V2, 1230 V2, even the 1230 something, with the hyperthreading, they're really good cards, man. I mean, really good CPUs for gaming. Absolutely fine. So, if you're getting one of them and then you get, say, a 1070 at 1440p, you'll be having a great time, literally a amazing time gaming.
Yes, I am definitely going to run two 1080s in SLI. That is going to happen.
That's confirmed, yeah.
That is confirmed. I don't care how it happens. It's got to happen. Oh, and also, I kind of forgot to bring this up in personal news.
Yeah.
But since we're in the Q&A, I am very, very strongly trying to go to E3. I've requested a E3 Media Pass. If I get it, I'm going. No questions asked. So fingers crossed on that. It's takes 2 weeks to get approval.
I did that. I did apply for that thing too. Yeah, but I don't know if I get sponsors and stuff. So sort of really probably a 20% chance I'll be going.
Well, I'm going either way. Even if I can't get any sponsors on board, I'm still going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I found out recently
Yep.
is that when you lose weight, it's cheaper to fly because now I don't need to buy 2 seats.
Well, there you go, bro. Yeah.
It's like I'm flying half price. It's like I'm flying half price pretty much. That's how I feel. Like I was like, wait, I only need to buy 1 seat. So I looked at the flights and I was just like, I can get round trip for $220. So I booked it.
You are forgetting one thing. You need to still book 2 seats, 1 seat for your Founders Edition card.
That's actually maybe I'm gonna bring it with me. I'm gonna pack it up with me.
That's it. Check it even on checkout. What would you like there, sir? 1080s Founders needs a seat too.
Okay, Q&A is coming to a close. We got about 5-10 minutes left. It's time
probably like 2 minutes, man. So yeah.
2 minutes. So all right, guys. We're going to do our weekly Thrones talk now. We do this every week at the very tail end of the show. We talk about this week's episode of Game of Thrones. We do discuss spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any Game of Thrones spoilers for the most recent episode, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week. But now it is time for Thrones talk. So last week and the week before, really, we were talking a lot about Jon Snow. That's been kind of one of the big things this year, and you're kind of a Jon Snow fanboy, so
yeah.
You want to? I'll let you take what happened with Jon Snow this week if you want to bring that in.
Yeah. So guys, this is spoilers. Last warning. We're talking about spoilers here. If you don't want to hear about Game of Thrones spoilers, then just close down the That's it.
And we'll see you next week.
Close down the browser, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Okay. Jon Snow. Let's just talk about that for a second. He was on cam this week. And that's all I got to say. I'm happy. So it's kind of surprised. Like at the end, I really don't know what was going on there. He just quit. Like he's kind of like a rogue. He's gone rogue.
His watch has ended.
Yeah, well, he's gone rogue kind of thing. And everyone else is like, dude, we need you. Like everyone else's face was like, man, we need you, dude. We need you, bro.
No, I think the realm needs him. But I don't. Yeah. I was surprised he just walked off, and rather than trying to, it's because it seemed like the wildlings and the other and the Night's Watch were. Now with the officers gone, I would have thought that those guys would have rallied behind him and been like at least his army to start things off to try to, move and do the things he needed to do, especially at least the wildlings anyway.
Everyone's in shock, but he's the people's leader, basically.
He's the people's champion.
That's it. He's the Rock, reincarnated.
Because we saw it with Ramsay Bolton as well. Now that he's taken over, for his father, new management has stepped in, rather abruptly. He's basically queuing up for a huge battle there, with Jon Snow potentially. But now Jon Snow has walked off and he's gone solo. Yeah. He's like whatever, Ramsay, 1v1 mate. Let's 1v1.
Yeah. He just becomes an assassin. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, a lot of the other stuff going on, like the no name, Arya.
No name, Arya. Arya. She's a no name character, Arya.
Yeah.
That's true. She is a no name
man.
now, isn't she?
Yeah. It's scary that arc, man.
I thought you were saying she wasn't an important character when you said no name. No. She's just okay. I get it now. I get what you mean now. Yeah.
Dude, that arc is scaring me. Like, it's legitimately starting to give me the creeps.
I still don't like even though she's gotten through now and she drank that liquid, I still feel like she still believes she's Arya and she still is just trying to trick these people into like teaching her how to kill so she can get her revenge.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the flashback sequence this week with Bran, which was really cool. Where we got to see Ned Stark in his battle with Arthur Dayne. One of the greatest swordsmen in the history of Westeros, which is filling in, some important plot points.
Yeah.
I like what they've been doing with Bran with the flashbacks to try to fill in the plot points. And do you know the significance of what's happening at that tower?
Stabbed in the back, right? That was a bad thing. Like didn't tell anyone about that. But what? There's someone in there. I was like,
yes. Okay, so. Now this is based on like a fan theory and things that have happened in the books, but everything that's happening in the series now seems like it actually is pointing in this direction. That inside that tower very well could be the mother of Jon Snow and Daenerys Stormborn. Yeah, and they could be related. So that could be Ned's Jon Snow's mother in there, basically giving birth to, I think it was Jon or Daenerys. I'm sorry if I'm messing up some of the details there. I apologize. I haven't read all the books, and if you want to go check out the fan theory, you can. But it basically looks like it's leading to the whole thing where it's going to bring up that Daenerys and Jon Snow are possibly related, and that Jon Snow is actually the true heir to the throne, because he would have been the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, and the woman that is potentially giving birth inside that tower, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I want to watch more Game of Thrones though. Like, I wanted to know what was inside too. It was just like, but yeah. So you think it's she's given birth? Eh? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's Rhaegar Targaryen's wife in there, who's the mother of Daenerys. Dany. Khaleesi, whatever. I feel weird calling her Daenerys. It's just Khaleesi, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the theory, is that that's the mother of her, and and the wife of Rhaegar Targaryen, and she gives birth to Jon Snow in there, dies in childbirth, and then Ned Stark takes the son as his own and brings it back to Winterfell, and tells everyone that it's his bastard to cover up for him, so that he could hide Jon Snow and protect him, because he would be the true heir to the Iron Throne, being the one and only son of Rhaegar Targaryen.
You are right. Holy shit, man! That's some next level shit you're on there.
Yeah, sorry. The details started to come back to me as we were talking more.
Yeah. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. I just thought, okay, yeah, dude, that's crazy. I got it. This is what I love about watching it. You talk about it, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and there was other hints of that as well, as like when Khaleesi was, I think it was in the dragons. The cave, there was like these things like there was like blue flowers there, and that was like a favorite flower of her mother. Actually, I can't recall her name, her mother's name, but yeah, it was like that's like a sign of her, and then there may be something with Jon Snow with blue flowers somewhere. So I don't know, but yeah, Lyanna, that's it, Lyanna Targaryen. Sorry. Or maybe her last name isn't Targaryen. I don't know everything. Yeah. I haven't read the books, man. I haven't read the books. Anyway. Jon Snow.
No, just the comments is so stupid, man.
The sister of Ned Stark, Lyanna. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, now, thank you, Naki. Thank you.
I think it was Donald Trump in the tower. Someone in the comments said it, man.
Yeah. Well, there was actually even a video that like went up this week, and then it got like taken down like right away, that was trying to predict stuff that was happening in future episodes. So we might get a copyright.
If it got taken down, then that means it's probably on point.
But they didn't even show footage of the show or trailers or anything like that. All they did was make like predictions about the show and talk about it, and the video got taken down.
So it's probably on point. It's probably on point, man. That's why.
Yeah. So this episode of TGW is probably going to get taken down now, if I was right.
Ooh, crap. Yeah, man.
If HBO is watching a gaming stream to find out about Game of Thrones.
Just for talking about it? Like, come on.
Well, this was a show that had been flagged by HBO in the past for showing things like trailer footage and show footage. And then they did an episode where they didn't do anything like that, but they talked about their predictions for future episodes. And I don't even know what they were talking about as their predictions. But then the episode got taken down, so there were articles going up saying that these guys probably had something right, and that's why they took it down. That's what the theory was behind it.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think we're gonna wind down though, guys. We got to get out of here.
I gotta get to work.
Thank you for joining us. Biggest episode in TGW history. We had like 416 viewers at peak at one point, which is awesome.
And thanks for watching. Thanks for the donations, guys. Awesome. Loving the support lately. The channel's like not just my channel. I mean, Joker's channel too has been growing a lot. So you got to say thank you too, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All the new subs. I'm sure. I'm thinking that we got so many live viewers this time, probably because some of your subs came over to my channel. So now they're seeing the live notifications go up. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That,
awesome.
If that's the case, they're coming over, for the contest. But now you guys get to see. We got the live stream every week. So hopefully we can get more people in here now.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll tune down and we'll catch you next week. So.
Yep. We will catch you guys next week. Ta-da. Ta-da.